Hello guys, this is MonogrammingPlus, and today I will be doing this nice mold to make some coasters. And we're gonna start off with getting our resin mixed up. Okay, this is the hardener, this is the resin. This is made by Incredible Solutions. It's called the tabletop epoxy and resin. Okay, you want to do this with a 1-to-1 ratio, okay, which means you make everything evenly. You measure it evenly. You don't measure it by weight, you measure by volume. And you're gonna begin by taking it and stirring into each other. The mix requires you to mix it around 5 minutes, and that's what I'll be doing now. I won't take you guys and let you sit and wait the whole 5 minutes. So I'll just be getting it right, and once I get it mixed together the correct way, you want to make sure that it's clear, it has no streaks. It will have a little bit of bubbles, but outside of that there's really no problem with it. And maybe I need to put this so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right now this is the resin. Okay, you want to scrape it really good from out of the cup. See, I measured it in smaller cups because I've got a large quantity for these coasters, and what I want to do is go ahead, and this is my hardener. You see how clear it is? This is the hardener. So you're going to take the hardener and place it in there. Scrape it all around the sides, the bottom, everything. And you kind of, if you have a timer would be nice to use, or if you've been using resin for a while, you don't need a timer because you get kind of used to exactly how it's supposed to look once you're mixing it. So, oh, and it's not very expensive either. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can pour it into like 1/4, about a 1/4 inch at the time, and you can build if you like. I've done it before, but you know, of course you need to follow directions on everything to make sure it is correct. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start stirring it, and you don't want to go too fast, you don't want to go too slow, you just want to go just right. You see how it's starting to mix together, and it's the color is changing. Okay, you want to randomly take and wipe your stick off, which I think I'm gonna trade my sticks right now. That's what I'm gonna do. So just give me 1 second, and for everything I'm doing I'll have it linked. At least I'll try to have it linked. These are some really nice spatula stir sticks, especially when you got a big cup. Right now I'm working with a big solo cup, but you do want to stir it, keep stirring. I think this is the hardest part for me because I do not like stirring anything. My hands, they'll start to hurt and all of that, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna stir it and get it nice and evenly. Remember to scrape the bottom as you're going. Scrape the sides really good. So you scrape the sides really good. Remember, I said to take your stick, scrape that off, because all of this has to be mixed evenly. if you want your work to be good, you know, and you don't want it to, you want it to actually cure really hard like it's supposed to. And it's great. I'll tell you, once you see the results, you'll want to do this yourself, really. And I'm not into no 5 minutes yet, but I wish you could really like see that it has no streaks. I have bubbles, but I don't have any streaks. I'm gonna keep stirring. I don't want to stir too fast, because the faster you stir, that makes your bubbles a lot of bubbles, and you don't want bubbles. This has been a great resin for me. I've tried maybe 3 or 4, and I've just started, you know, doing resin maybe about 3 months, and it is an addiction. I'm telling you, it is a whole addiction on its own. Okay, now I'll bring it up a little bit close. You can see that the color has changed and it's more clear now, if my camera is showing it really good. Okay, so I don't think I've done 5 minutes. I think it's right at 5 minutes, but because I've used this, I pretty much know how to handle it. But like I said, you know, always read your instructions, because if you follow the instructions, you're guaranteed to be correct. Your work is going to be good. You mix the right kind of things with it, it's going to be good. You mix paint with it, although paint I don't suggest you using, you know. They prefer you to use mica powders, but I've used paint, I've used mica powder, I've used alcohol inks. I mean, I'm in the middle of trying, you know, a lot of different things. So now what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do this in the color of this Mermaid Dust by Meyspring, this White Pearl by Meyspring, and I've added another color by Soap Dye. It's in the color of Umber. Okay, and with those, all I'm gonna do is like put 1 drop of ink in it, only because the ink gives it, you know, nice effects. So I have the turquoise, the white low density, and coffee. Those are to be mixed in each of the mica powders. And I have 1 tablespoon of glass gems made by True Living. I bought these from Dollar General. They're about, I think they were like $3.50, but that's what I did. So now what I'm gonna do, you don't really want to do this over the surface that you're working in, but I have such a small space until this is what I have to do. So, and one other thing is you want to wear your respirator, because inhaling these mica powders and along with the resin, you know, that's chemicals on top of chemicals. So you don't want to go without wearing your mask. But for the sake of this video, however, I am gonna not wear my mask at the moment. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take my popsicle stick and I'm just gonna pour a little bit here. Okay, let's not make too much of a mess. Pour some in here. These are for my different colors. Pour some in here. Okay. Of course, I'm not gonna need all of that. Not in those, but that's what I'm gonna use for the moment. And again, this is the made by Meyspring Mermaid dust. Okay. It only takes a little bit, y'all. I promise it does. That's why I'm letting you see exactly how I'm putting it in, because it don't take a lot. Okay. You can put it as much as you want to, you know, depending on if you want it transparent or you want it opaque. It really doesn't matter. It's just completely up to you. This umber was the closest I can find that would match my my stones. So okay, when you're about to mix this, you want to kind of just stab at it a little bit so that the powder won't float around in the air, because this is the reason why you need your mask. Just poke around until you get it so that it's not going all over the place, that the mica powder is not in the air. Y'all, I gotta say, this is my first video and I'm excited. I'm excited to see the results. I'm excited to see, you know, is everybody gonna really watch it? Are they gonna like it? I had my channel opened for a while, I think since January of this year, I think. I'm not sure, but I never made a video. I made an intro video only just to get something up, but this will be my actually first video. So I'm proud of myself. Yay me. Yay me. Isn't that pretty? That's real pretty. Just see how that looks. Beautiful. It's a pearl. Let's see, let me see about this light right here. Will that make a difference? It makes a little bit of difference. You can see it a little bit. I'll turn it back on soon as I finish doing my mixes. Oh, and by the way, you actually need to work a little fast when you're doing this, because there's a work time of around 25 minutes, and I gotta get this out. A work time of about 25 minutes, and you, right now, being that I have so much in my cup, that means I need to work fast. But for the sake of me showing you, I just put like 2 drops of alcohol ink in here, and it made it a little bit whiter. It still has the pearl along with it, but that alcohol ink, it just makes it have so many other effects when you're doing everything. Okay, so now I am going to mix the mermaid dust. Remember, just poke it to get it down there so that the mica flakes won't float around in the air. Then you can start to stir. I'm all over the place, right? I need to mark on my the area so that I can make sure that I stay in view of the camera. Okay, that mixed so nicely. Look, it's beautiful, so beautiful. Oh, I've got to get the right kind of lights in here, y'all. And what I'm gonna do, this mermaid dust is very pretty. But I'm gonna take, and like I'm using my alcohol ink, I'm shaking it up really good. Let's see, can I turn the light back on? I don't know whether that'll do any good or not. But just one, I did one drop. Just one drop. And I'm gonna stir this in. That was the closest I had to the mermaid dust. I don't have like a great big selection, but I do have some, and when we're starting on anything, we have to work our way up. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do, just work my way up. So beautiful. Love it. Okay, now I'm gonna stir the umber. Remember, poke it down. Don't want that mica powder flying everywhere. Stir it up. And like I said, this was the closest I could find to my stones of what I had. And I think it's gonna match up really good. Looks like it's a nice golden tone. And again, I'm just gonna put one drop of this alcohol ink in, just for the effects. One drop. Okay. I'm gonna start, just stir that back up. And as you can see, it really didn't change it, but the effects is gonna be awesome. Oops. I love making a mess. Make a mess, make a mess. Okay, let me wipe my hands off a little bit. Baby wipes is the best thing to use, y'all. I promise. It's the best thing to use when you're working with resin. Okay. Now, I need to take, matter of fact, let me take my baby wipe and get this little powder that fell in my mold, because on this part I want to make sure that my stones, my gemstones, I want to make sure that they're seen. Well, not gemstones, my glass gems, I'm sorry. So that's gonna be okay. So what I'm gonna do, back to these, I'm gonna take these and spread them out. I have 1 cup for each one of them. Okay. Then I'm just gonna kind of make it go up there in the top. And if you have any that's kind of sticking out, just try to make sure that you keep it poked in. I want them all around just the edge here, hoping that all of my color is going to turn out nicely. Okay, let's see. Oops. One fell out. Get in there. Don't you want to stay put? I'm a little nervous, y'all, but I think everything is going to turn out fine. At least I hope. Okay. I think that's going to be good enough. I think that's going to be fine. Okay. Now, can you all see that? All of it? I hope so. Okay, now I'm gonna take a little bit from out of my cup, my big cup. I'm gonna take and pour some clear right in here where I put my gems. All of those little nooks and crannies, you want to make sure that you're in them so that everything can get down in there nicely. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna just take our popsicle and we're gonna just kind of move them around a little bit, just to make sure that we don't really have no air bubbles or anything like that, because we want them to be really nice, you know. This don't want to misbehave. I don't like when they misbehave. Okay. And some people, like when they're adding stones or anything to that nature, they take it and mix it. They take the stones and mix it with the resin, which I didn't do this time because I really just want to take my time with it and let you all see exactly what's done. Is that laid down? Let's borrow a little bit of resin from you. A little bit more. I'm not messy, y'all. I'm just nervous. Maybe that'll be the last time I say that. Yeah, I love doing this. It just is so peaceful, you know. A lot of people is into hair and nails and, you know, all other crafts and stuff like that, but I just love doing things with resin. So much in a happy place. Okay, so now that part is done. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna start layering, and with our layering, We're just gonna make sure that everything is good. I think I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start with, I want to end with the gold, so I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, this is the Mermaid Dust by Meyspring. Then let's try to get rid of all of that. You can take a little bit more. And this one I actually don't need anymore, but I have so much clear in it, so I'm just gonna do it like that. Okay. And our next color, we're gonna do the pearl white. Sometimes if you grab your cup like this, it'll be easier. Do that layer. On to the next layer. And the next. I should have wiped that spot up because you're going to see it on the back. And this one. And you can get a little bit more. You can get a little bit more. Just don't want to waste no resin. This stuff is expensive, y'all. I promise it is. However, this tabletop coat, it's not expensive. It's not that expensive. It's around, I think 2 gallons cost me around $124, I think. A gallon is like $62, I believe. And it's pretty good. I like it. I really do. Going in with the umber. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay. A little bit more here. A little bit more here. Kind of want them to be pretty much the same. Oh no, I dropped just a little bit. So when this happens, I'm gonna kind of take your popsicle stick and see, can you just lift it out? Okay. So now what I want to do, I'm gonna take my glow gun and kind of blend it in. Just blend it a little bit. So it makes a nice little fake. This also pops your bubbles a little bit, y'all.